Alright, good afternoon guys. Sebastian here in Final Control Show. Sorry about that. We had a problem with Wirecast once again. We had a power cut during the day, so when we restarted everything, Wirecast was not up to date, and we had to get hold of Peter Bratt, who gave us a hand, and everything. The team, Mark and Tara, came back to camp as well to give me a hand. And then also during that time, internet went down, so I couldn't even post an update or anything. So sorry about that, guys. I hope you're still out there and ready for the drive. Tara and Mark just left now, and I will be cutting back to them right after the announcement. So sorry again. Buckle up. The drive is going to start in exactly 1 minute. Enjoy the drive, and I'll speak to you later. Bye for now.
Checking out this buffalo weaver and thinking, why is it on its own? The rest of the flock are. But good afternoon and welcome to Juma Game Reserve on a little bit of a blustery afternoone, but definitely a very hot one. So I'm hoping we're going to find some rhinos wallowing in the mud. Found lots of tracks this morning, so I am hoping that we are going to have some luck this afternoon. So we're going to head off towards, I think, Spaghetti Junction up towards Buffelshoek Dam. See what we can go and find around there, and maybe later on as it cools down we might have some luck with the cats. That'd be wonderful. Keep your fingers crossed. But it was a nice relaxing morning, and hoping just to have the same relaxing ride this afternoon, unless there's some excitement that happens along the way. Who knows, this is live, anything is possible, so I hope you're going to join us for the next 3 hours to see what wonders the African bush holds for us. My name's Tara, joining me on camera is Mark, and back in front of control is Sebastian. So let's jump aboard and see what we can go and find. Oh, red-billed buffalo weavers flown off. How's it? I would like to try and do a couple of tracks, although it's not great to do tracking when the sun is so high, but it'll definitely test your skills. So the tracking quiz is going to start on my next drive, which is either Sunday or Monday. No, Sunday or no? Monday or Tuesday. I can't get my days in order. But I will let you all know. I will announce it on Facebook and during the drives via Mark and Sebastian. Actually, all down.
Bulls from this morning.
Yes, I saw them. 30, almost 30. Actually, we've got a nice view of them here. I was going to go around, but let's get them from here. Nice kudu bulls. Actually, can you see over the logs there? Do I need to move again?
Pardon?
Do I need to move again, and can you see over the logs?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Here I had 5 of them this morning down by Treehouse.
I think it might even be those boys.
Yeah, I think so. And I was looking into the diet of the kudu, trying to find what differences there are between them and Nyala. I think someone was asking this morning. And the kudu do tend to eat more forbs apparently, and succulent plants and woody plants, more so than the Nyala do. But I'm sure there will be species that each one eats that the other doesn't, because they do tend to overlap quite dramatically in this area in where you'll find them.
Come on, keep walking. There we go. Coming now.
And actually the horns have been used by Zulus to call a meeting between
And the Shanghai.
villagers, and the Shangaan as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know the Shangaan. So the bony core will actually be taken out, so just the keratin sheath remains, and then they put a hole in the tip of the horn and blow through that. And it can make quite a bellowing sound actually if you get it right.
That's where the vuvuzela comes from.
I was wondering actually what the vuvuzela was based on. I think they've been banned in a few places, haven't they now?
So.
I'm not surprised. Our neighbour had one and that was enough.
I think they found in the stadium, but as soon as they leave the stadium, you need to use them as a siphon for liquids or something.
Yeah. And I think people were complaining in the stadium as well, weren't they, that they were too loud?
Yeah, it was that's too much.
I think it would have driven me insane. The bats are driving me insane. I've got bats in my bedroom. Well, in the roof. Need to.
In the belfry.
Yeah. I wanted to say the belfry and I thought no, I don't have a belfry. I've got to find out which bats they are. They're very cute, I must admit, but they have this piercing call, and they seem to like to chatter when I'm directing. I don't know if Seb's got them chattering away now, but like to chatter just as I'm trying to go to sleep. So we're going to have to try and put up a bat box or something and block up where it is that they're getting into. It's just that pitch that just goes right through me. It's like someone scraping the fingernails down a blackboard. It's that kind of sound. I'm going to find out which bats they are though.
Only to you. Only to you.
No, but you don't hear them then.
I do.
I've got very, very sensitive hearing.
But to the higher sounds, like some of the crickets, and obviously the bats go into that higher frequency. I don't hear it in my right ear, but I do in my left, so I can sleep on one
Oh
side.
yeah, you see, that's it. You can switch off. I can't.
No, but it obviously it kind of proves the point I was trying to make one day, is that we have such a limited range of hearing, and that just a few decibels either direction would make the world impossible for us.
Yeah, it's
and
very
you can
true.
probably hear in a higher frequency, slightly higher than most people, and that's why
It does. It just goes right through me. But it's high. I actually struggle with very deep sounds. I was actually saying to everybody who I went to visit in London, and I was struggling. If someone was sitting opposite me with all the sound, I was struggling to hear them. I have to sit next to somebody when there's a crowd, otherwise forget it.
Well, I'm like that anyway.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna need lessons, Gilly. So, the man who came up with the name. Oh, actually, yeah, I wasn't even thinking. There we go. Oh, I'm hitting everyone in the ears. Can you see it over the branch there?
It's a nice way to introduce them.
Yes. I didn't even think. Here is Little Boy's Cubs, Namesworth. There's a little emerald spotted dove. And if the dove actually turns so you can see the two spots on the wing. You can see why it's called an emerald spotted dove. Just a little bit more.
Turn now.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to. That will just fly off. Come on. Ah.
There we go.
So, Mark, because you came up with the name, how do you say the name? Because I'm going to need a lot of help with this one.
There you can see the there.
Shambambambam.
Shivambalana.
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 So I call him Shiva for short. No,
Shiva. Shiva. As in cold. As in, ooh, say it again.
Shiva.
Oh, you haven't seen The Lion King. You're going to have to watch The Lion King, Mark.
Look there, you can see the
You
emerald
are.
spots every time it turns. It's a very special dove. It's not just a name taken light-heartedly.
No, it's not.
Alludes to somewhat to some of his shy nature.
And pretty. He's a pretty boy. He is a pretty
He
boy.
is. No arguments. Some people might not like it and think it's too long, and the X is confusing.
Yeah, X is a sh.
Yeah, it's almost like a
Like Shivenzi. Shivenzi actually looks difficult, but when you get past the X, it's actually quite easy. Shivenzi. Actually kind of say how it's spelt.
I think it's great. Shivambalana and Shivinzi. The new
Shivambalana.
generation.
Shivambalana. So there you go, folks. Little boy has his name, Shivambalana. And we have his namesake on the screen now. Actually, when you're tracking, you can tell when it's the emerald spotted dove, because if you watch very closely, there you go, just done it now. It just turns in on itself, and it will just literally turn in on itself in a small area, and then it'll wander up a little bit, and then turn in on itself again, and you just find this little higgledy-piggledy way that it's walked. Like completely indecisive where it's going to go, but you can see it's actually looking for little seeds, maybe little insects. But where it is, it's probably the grass seeds or relics of.
Okay, so have you met this one yet? Have you met this one yet?
This one, is this not a weeping boer bean? Or am I way off on that one?
A what?
Weeping boer bean.
No, you're spot on with that one.
Ah, so I can start to recognise these ones.
And if I'm not mistaken,
Can you see the purple flowers yet?
red, crimson red.
Well, crimson, yeah. I couldn't remember
I
if it was
think those are the flower buds starting to come out.
nice.
Can't quite
So
see.
another one to watch, because that really does. Oh, I remember seeing the first one I met was on Elephant School Road, and the sunbirds were buzzing around there like there was no tomorrow. Definitely one to watch. The weeping boer bean.
There. What is that? Are those flower buds?
Yeah, it looks like it. Does look like it. I want to get a sample. It's too high up.
I will keep note of this and all the others.
No, I just want to get a sample of the leaf. What is the leaf structure actually? Is it simple or is it?
As a compound.
It is compound. So simple leaves is just when you have one leaf. And there's a simple leaf. Like the apple leaf. So from where the leaf grows, you'll see that little nodule at the end of the stalk, if you like, The petiole is what it's called. So where the leaf grows from. If it's just the one leaf, then it's a simple leaf. If it's a compound leaf, then you have a few different leaflets. So where you see that little bulge, and then you have maybe 4 little leaflets on the same leaf. I'll see if I can find you a leaf to show you exactly what I mean. But it's a way to help identify trees. But some very sad news that just came in. Who was that from? Was that from Marlies? Marlene, apparently a rhino was poached today down in the south. Shot and horn cut off.
Derby Sandstone.
Apparently Leopard Hills, down that way. Actually want to go this way, don't I? I don't know what to say. I really... And the sad thing is, it's organised now as well, and people fly in choppers, and there was 4 people that were supposed to be up on trial, and actually on the 22nd, that's possibly why they called it Rhino Day this year, because there's 4 people that were involved in a lot of cases where the rhinos were dehorned, and their trial got what's the word? Postponed to the 22nd, I think, or around the 22nd.
That was the one in April.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be tried last year in October or November.
Yeah. Apparently got postponed until September again.
So just keep postponing it until someone loses the docket, and it'll all get swept under the carpet, because they'll just give $1 million here to this judge and $1 million there to someone else.
I did hear that they're actually wanting to take DNA of all the rhinos, so that if there was a rhino that was found dead, they could actually trace the parts. So if they confiscated rhino horn, they could actually trace the parts to a particular rhino that had died, so that it could actually convict them of the poaching as well. Have a look.
See it nicely from this angle. Huckleberry.
The sad thing is, if there's no stop for the demand, I really don't know. I don't know what the government are going to do.
Any station confirm how many stations in pursuit at the moment? Making my way.
Shielded.
It looks like she's shielding something, possibly the chick from the sun. You can see the wings are open slightly.
It'll be hot enough. She doesn't have to sit on the eggs. She has to shield it. Definitely making an umbrella.
I was saying this morning. Vultures generally breed this time of year because everybody else struggles this time of year, so there's going to be a lot more carcasses, hopefully for the vulture, than there will be in the summer because of the lack of food and the lack of water. So it does make sense for vultures to actually breed this time of year. This is a white-backed vulture, and actually if she opens her wings a little bit more and turns, you might see that white patch on the back. Otherwise the wings are folded, you don't see it. There may be 2 or 3 eggs, but usually it's just the one chick that survives. I remember Patrick Benson saying 2 to 3 eggs, but I just want to check it was the white-backed vulture. Patrick Benson was actually a vulture expert that we brought in, and that interview might still be on YouTube. He was a very, very interesting guy, discussing vultures from across the world. Yeah, 1 egg. Sometimes 2 to 3, but usually just the one chick. I definitely have to keep a check on how it's doing though. And just in case anybody wasn't able to join us this morning, Tandy, who you know as a Seca, and her cub were on Torchwood, and apparently they had, I think there was an impala kill.
Dacre.
Oh, is it Dacre? Did it turn out to be Dacre? Sorry?
Text and watch the whole thing.
Oh, text and watch the whole thing. Oh, do you actually watch them take it down?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I just heard that they had a kill, so I thought I heard impala, but apparently Mark's saying that Texan watched it all and it's actually a Dacre. Thanks, Marlene, for sending that information through and keeping us posted. It is appreciated, although very sad news. I just really hope that there's actually a petition out to try and raise awareness and send it to governments to really let them know how serious this thing is. And if we can continue to raise awareness and actually put pressure on the governments to do something about it, and to do something about the illegal trade, then there might just be a chance to save the rhinos that are left. Sorry, just taking everybody's ears out again. I keep forgetting there's a microphone here. Quickly check down here. Sorry?
Well spotted.
Oh, my little friend did walk through here. Maybe we need to keep trying towards Buffelshoek Dam. Hi Cheryl, and good afternoon to you. Wanting to know why people cut rhino horns off. Rhino horn is used in a number of ways. But some believe it has medicinal properties, some believe it has magical powers, and the horn is quite often used in ceremonial daggers, especially up in Yemen, I believe, and it's believed that if a dagger handle is given to a son, then he will be prosperous and live long and live a healthy life. So there's a couple of uses. But it's just keratin, that's all it is. It's the same substance as we have on our fingers, on our heads, as a bird's feather, as a porcupine's quill. It's such a versatile substance. And it's found on so many animals. And what it's there for is protection. The rhino needs it to protect itself. And they've been looking into whether they can cut the rhino horn off and leave it so that poachers don't have any excuse to go and kill a rhino. But what they found is a couple of years down the line, in the place that they tried that, if they escaped the poacher's bullet, because what they found is that poachers were actually just shooting the rhinos anyway so that they wouldn't actually track the rhinos. But that was before, I think, they've got a lot more technical and a lot more people on the ground and maybe people inside that help inside the reserves. But that's what they found, is that the rhino were actually being shot, so they didn't have to track them again. But the rhino that did escape that fate, they actually found were dying 2 or 3 years later because they couldn't actually defend themselves, either against other rhino or maybe even predators, but it was generally other rhino. So it does have a purpose. I don't know, maybe they could actually come up with something like a synthetic horn that they could put in its place or something, I don't know. So at least they can actually protect themselves. It's just such a shame that we have to.
That's a raw skeleton.
Oh, is that where it is?
There. Sorry, I interrupted, but I have to show you.
Yeah, that's cool. Hi Donna over there in Oregon. Good afternoon to you. I wanted to know, are they trying to put poison into the horn, so if people do use it for poison or use it for medicine, they'll make them very sick? And I think there was an article an article released, but the paper I think was bogus. So I don't know how true it is, but I think the plan was to try and inject cyanide into the horn, but I don't know how well that would work either. I mean, it does get ground down, so I don't know how much cyanide you'd get from it. And if it's used for the horns, then for the dagger handles, then I don't know. But I have heard the same, Donna, but I don't know if it is true or not. Be interesting to find out, be interesting to see. Hi Lynn, good to hear from you over in Canada. And talking about the vulture, and is it only the female that incubates the egg, or do both parents incubate, take turns to incubate? And as far as I know, I think it is the pair that will incubate. Or do you know differently, Mark?
I remember we went through this last year. I can't remember.
I know, I can't remember. I'm struggling to remember. I think it is the pair.
I think both of them take turns.
Because they are monogamous, and they will both feed the chick once it hatches. It might depend on the species, but I think the whiteback vulture, I think might. Trouble is, it's difficult to actually know even when they're on it, because there's not really any sexual dimorphism. I'm just trying to remember if Patrick Benson said anything about that, because I remember people asking about the chicks and about being reared. Oh, hello, Impala. Oh, wow. Sorry. But I wonder if he's going to stay put. Can you see the little... Oh... blue waxbill? He is so bright at the moment. He was just on top of the termite mound there. There he is, he's coming out again.
In the raisin bush.
But the waxbills are really catching my eye this afternoon, over the last couple of days. So blue. Look at that. They are quite dull in the winter time. As soon as breeding season.
Never noticed them being dull.
Yeah, they much
At my
duller.
house all the time in the bird walk, and
I don't know. I've always just seen them, noticed
Yes,
them
the
being quite
females.
dull.
But they're birds that are alarming up ahead somewhere. The drainage line. I don't know where it's gone.
Oh, there goes the impala. Sidetracked by the little blue waxbill.
An impala will run now.
Yeah. Sorry, impala. Alright, Daz, I think your email might have come in just as I was talking about this, actually. You were asking my opinion on whether they should take the horn off, and I was just commenting on when they tried taking the horn off and poachers were actually just still shooting the rhino anyway. Just trying to think where I'd be if I was a rhino right now. Hiding, probably. I don't know, Daz. I really don't know. I mean, it grows very, very slowly. As I was saying, maybe the possibility of putting a synthetic horn on to actually help protect them. I don't know how feasible that would be. Or whether people would actually mistake it as a horn anyway, even if they had like a colour on it or something. But then again, that could probably freak the rhino out if it's got a red horn on the front of its nose. But the problem is the demand. If there's no demand for this, then there'll be no reason for the price to be so high on the rhino horn. So then, if there's no price on the rhino horn, there'll be no reason to risk actually taking rhino horn in the first place. I mean, there's been even suggestions of farming rhino horn to try and flood the market so much that the price of rhino horn goes down. So it tries to deter people. But all I know is it is becoming serious and something does need to be done. I don't even know what count it is at the moment. I think it probably is over the 100 mark already. Probably 200 by now.
What, this year?
Yeah, what is the count? 190 something.
Where are we? September?
But it's not even showing any signs of slowing. It's just.
It's probably in the 200s right now.
Yeah, I reckon we'll be in the two. I keep forgetting we're in September now. Just seems like every day we're hearing about one. And yet, years ago, South Africa actually helped to populate a couple of other areas in Africa. I mean, they were actually sending rhinos to other countries to help repopulate their population. Now, all of a sudden, it's all
No, we were leading in rhino conservation. We were the world leaders. We've gone from the world leaders to the world destroyers.
Well, that's it. I mean, especially if there's been a vet involved who's supposed to actually save these animals. Actually decides, no, I'll make some money on the side, thank you very much. So yes, I don't know. But I think governments definitely need to take notice. And that's across the world. Not seeing any more signs, tracks, anything like that. Oh, and yes. Oh, go ahead. Marlene. Thanks, Marlene. Saying that they were actually trying insecticides in the horn, and they've been trying it for a year, and they've just published something on it now. So maybe that's more likely than the cyanide story. Thanks, Marlene. And I have this real need to see a rhino this afternoon now. I do. And that's the thing, they're actually, a lot of people think that they, you know, aggressive creatures, and they're just not. They're actually, there's a lot more to them than meets the eye. The more you sit with them, the more you learn about them, the more you realise there's a lot more that goes on in their heads.
Paul, can you go back, please?
What have you seen?
No. Might be spider web. Maybe spider web. Might be just in front of that dead tree. Small spike of the tree sticking up.
Small spike of the tree, I need to go forward.
Yeah. In this little clearing. Tree stuff.
Yeah.
All the stuff in front of it.
Oh.
I was thinking it might be a funnel web spider, but it looks like it might be a long snake skin.
No, negative 4. I checked from the gate. I checked a paraplane. And looting Gondram for.
No, it is. It's spiderweb.
This morning, it looked like Madalang cons and some of these symbols. Yeah, we had it this morning before. She was on our side. We just can't tell her any Gonzo this afternoon. We thought maybe she should get back to you and
Okay, sorry.
we had the Bugad info. We had it this morning in the vicinity of the Catline, Simambidi Safari. We got her going further west. But this afternoon, we can't tell her any Gonzo. Thank you for your big diligence in the way before.
Okay.
Ephraim, come in. Ephraim, come in.
Yeah, good, Tanner. Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ephraim. Sorry, were you talking about Karulas and Consos then?
I think the station from the west is Bugakurula, like it's in Bambile and other things Catline. Somebody to the west.
Copy that. Thanks, Ephraim. So apparently Karula's tracks were seen in the west towards Zimbambili Way. I'll keep my ear to the ground and maybe head over there towards Impala Plains, that area, later on this evening. Kevin. Oh, that's what I was going to tell you. Just after we closed down and said goodbye, and we got back out into the road, we found the herd of elephants that we were watching down here by Buffelshoek Dam. There's actually elephants that side and this side. And just off to the left there is the female giraffe who had... It actually turned out it wasn't her wrist, it was actually what's the equivalent of our finger joints that's swollen. But she actually has made her way up here. So she might be around this area now, so I have to keep a lookout for her. But didn't look any different. She didn't walk on it in front of us, she just stood there and watched us. But we could just tell it was her because she just had her foot lifted off the ground slightly. I know a few people have been asking about her. I managed to get a picture of her, so I'll try and post that up tomorrow or tonight. She forgot that I'd taken it this morning. A few other things happened. And I totally forgot about it. Excuse me. But I will try and post that up for you. Egyptian geese on the bank there. That's what I love about spring. All the birds start to either change their plumage into the bright colours for displaying, or the birds that don't change the colour or don't change the plumage, so to speak, they do tend to become a lot bolder in their colours. That can have something to do with what they eat as well, because some of the pigments are reliant on what the bird eats, especially like the carotenoids, the bright yellows and the brick reds. Although the brighter the bird, it seems to be that the carotenoids may also affect the flight muscles. So if the bird is very, very bright, then it can mean that it has a disadvantage because its flight muscles have been affected. Got a little friend. Been a while since I've seen the dwarf mongoose.
Trying to call the rest of it. I'm going too fast.
Yeah, I saw the rest over there. They might just pop out.
Oops, again.
Oh, gone. Here they come. Yep. Not sure about this big green thing. Hi, Sil. Good afternoon to you over there in Canada. Good to hear from you. Ah. These little guys are so funny. One of the gregarious mongoose that we have here. Where there's one, you should find more. They do live in a family. We're wondering if the rhinos that we see here will make their way down towards Leopard Hills. No, they wouldn't travel that far. I think the crash of 6, I think going to Buffelshoek, I think that's where they are today. But I don't know how far into Buffelshoek they go. Then we have our territorial bull. He overlaps, I think, down in the south a little bit. There's the skewhorn male, which I know they see in Chitwa. But again, it really does depend on how many rhinos are in the area, which will dictate how large a territory a male will hold, or how far and wide a female will wander. You know, on my old reserve, the rhinos would wander a good 3,000 hectares, but then there was only 4 rhinos, and the areas where they could graze were few and far between. They had to move between the different areas to get to the decent grazing. That hippo's gone. Okay, well, let's carry on. Huh?
Pied wagtail.
Oh, you saw a pied wagtail. Oh, there, nice.
Should have left that for a quiz.
Yeah.
No, we're teaching now. No, that's for next time when we're going to have the quiz. Try and get closer and that.
wagtail's so cool because you can see the tail bobbing. My mum used to call this one a dolly peg.
A what?
A dolly peg.
A dolly pig.
Yeah. Still don't fully understand why. I think the one in the UK I think is possibly another pied wagtail, although I don't think it will be the same species. I'll have to check actually.
Found it near water.
No, but I remember it being black and white. But it could have been because of the deep fork in the tail, quite possibly. And it looked like an old clothes peg. I forget. I'll have to find out from my mum why she called it a dolly peg. It was probably one of those that was passed down to her. Like the white rabbits. Hello, Lurie. Haven't seen you for a while. Have a look at the grey Lurie. Confusing it. Phil! Hi Phil in the USA. I'm wondering how the poachers find the rhinos. Oh, Ellie! No, don't go. And if people come across the poachers, what do they do? I don't think we're going to get a chance to see this, Ellie. I might have to go around, right round the other side. But just depends on the method nowadays, Phil. Because you have, as I was saying earlier, that we had a syndicate that were working together, whereas in years gone by it would be guys. Oh, what's that about? Oh, another one there. Another one coming down to the water's edge to drink. Yeah, and another. Yeah, and another. There's a baby. I think we might have a bit of a family group coming down to the waterhole to drink.
Okay, I wonder if we can level. Well, I'll level the camera.
I can try. I don't know how level we're going to get here, really. There.
More sideways level than front back level. It's getting more angle.
Yeah. I think I'm going to just get
down.
more angle.
Never mind, I'll change the angle here. I can.
But yeah, years gone by, the poachers would go out and actually be expert trackers, and they'd actually be able to track where a rhino had gone. They would just go on foot. But nowadays it's a little bit more organised, and as I say, there was a vet involved. They'd have people on the ground, probably cut a hole in the fence and come in, maybe people actually working on the inside, which makes it even worse. And I wonder if that was how Sabi Sands, the south, they got in there. Maybe even a gate guard, you know, it's one of those. But they would have somebody on the ground keeping a watch on the rhino, radio through when they've got one. Helicopter comes in, and they were actually asking anybody who saw a vehicle with a small chopper on the back, because that's how they were doing it. They were actually going to a fence close to the road, setting up the little micro chopper, micro flyer or whatever, and popping over the fence, darting the rhino or shooting it, chopping off the horn, and then making a quick getaway. So they actually had the equipment to do it quickly. And that's why it's so important to have these 4 people tried and actually sentenced, because they were a big syndicate. But you get some people that are just trying to get a bit of money, and as I say, they make a bit of a botch job. They see a rhino next to the fence line, and they'll just break through the fence, maybe with a vehicle, shoot the rhino, and then chop the horn off and leave. You know, it's people trying to make quick money as well, so they're kind of jumping on the bandwagon. So there's not just one method. So no, the Kruger Park has got the military in there, but the problem is it's such a vast area, and there's places where people just don't go. But what they've also found is that they're using the public roads. So that's why they brought the military in as well. And if a poacher is found, they're arrested, and if they're usually carrying guns, and if they open fire, then the people are allowed to shoot at them. So quite a risky business. Quite a dangerous one to try and protect the rhinos out here. And if we see anything, any tracks that shouldn't be, people tracks that shouldn't be here, or anything unusual, we report it to our head of security. So we all do our little bit. The vehicles get checked on the way out. A few more Ellies coming in. Now this is probably a family unit. It's probably... Oh, she decided they're going to move on. See the little baby at the back, look. This is probably mother or even grandmother with maybe a daughter and her recent young, and a daughter's recent young. Hi, Dio in Florida, and I think I've just answered your question. Actually, I think I got onto that subject before your question was able to come through to me. But just asking if a ranger was able to shoot a poacher. So it just depends on what the poacher is doing, and if they open fire, then they are allowed to defend themselves. Can you spell it? Oh. $287 rhinos poached this year. I'm not too sure, there's a lot of static, I couldn't quite hear what Seb was saying, so thanks to whoever sent that in. 287 rhinos poached this year, so we're both wrong. Both optimistic. Hi Donna in New York. I think you had this question the other day. Do we have Hoatzin here? That's a type of, what is it? It's a type of bird.
Coastal, South American. I don't know.
South America. It's in South America apparently, but I'm not entirely sure
I
what
don't
it
know,
is.
Just that rings a...
It does ring a bell. But there's a part on a chick that I might be getting confused with.
Isn't the Hotzel one of those birds that as a youngster scrambles through? It's got these claws on its wings.
I mean, maybe that is where I'm thinking of, because I think that's what a hoatzin is that residual claw.
Residual.
Not a residual.
Vestigial.
Where is it? Yes, vestigial. Because I think that's what a hoatzin is, isn't it, on a chick? Distant
I don't
dark
know,
memory.
My brain
Yeah,
got
it's a
something
distant
in it
dark
about
memory.
It, but I can't quite access that part.
If someone could maybe just find, what's the word?
Google.
Google. Well, yeah, Google it. But I'm thinking recharge our brain. It's not the right word I'm after. Refresh our memories. There we go. Refresh our memories. And it would be great about what a hoatzin is. Station Småslam even lav Buffelsuk Dam. And if anybody wants to find out a bit more about elephants, there is a brilliant website called Elephant Whispers. No, Elephant Voices. It's a brilliant website. I've looked on it a few times with the calls of the elephants, and I think they've put another section up on the body language of elephants. But I think I'm going to try and go around, because we're losing them. We're going to try and follow that 2-track round and just see if we can catch up with them.
They're going to cross the drain onto Jack's Road.
Hmm?
They're going to come out onto Jack's Road.
Yeah, it looks like they're going that way, and it's a long way round that way.
No, they're here on this road.
Who's Jack?
I don't know.
That's the first time I've heard that road being called anything.
Yeah. Jack. What's that noise?
No, so it looks like they've gone that way.
We've got steering way here. Yeah, I believe so. How many vehicles on that lot?
Oh, in Torchwood. It's talking about Saseka and her cub. I'd love just to sneak over the boundary and go and have a look. Hi Ryan, good afternoon to you. Wanting to know, do we have any meerkats and frogs, and do we only have one type of mongoose? No, we have more mongoose. We're actually looking up to see a white-tailed mongoose. When was it? Last night, and not the night before, but the night before that. It's the dwarf mongoose, which is what we saw. He might even have been living in there. There's a few holes in there. One of the diurnal mongoose that we have here, and one of the most gregarious mongoose. We also have the banded mongoose, which is actually our equivalent to the meerkat. Meerkats actually prefer a much more drier habitat, much more arid habitat. They are there. Try a little bit further around. So I just remember I had this problem last time. It's quite thick here. So yeah, the banded mongoose is our equivalent, and we a little bit wetter. Huh? You see one in here? Oh, there she is. And we also have the slender mongoose, which is another diurnal mongoose, but that's a solitary mongoose. Doesn't spend too much time with other mongoose unless it's mating or whether it's got young. Let's see, it looks a little bit more open further up. You can still see her through there. And the Mellors mongoose. I think I saw one of those the other day. Although very, very quick. And frogs, yes we do get frogs. Frogs and toads.
I can't see, it's a bit far, I think it's in Mula.
Sounds like Mvula's somewhere in the north.
Who?
Mvula. Oh, no. Female apparently. Last station with Mafazi Ingwe. Can you confirm the fire break just on Gary side or Buffelshoek side? Okay, copy. Thanks, Ephraim. Sorry, text and go again. Copy that. I was just wishful thinking. Yes, the frogs and toads should be making an appearance very soon. You should start to hear them on the waterhole camera. We've already had a toad crawling around by camp whenever it starts to get a little bit moist in the air. It's just a little bit dry for them at the moment. They're going to be taking shelter underneath a nice moist muddy patch or somewhere out of the way of the sun. Here she comes. I'm just going to pull forward a bit. Sorry, just repeat the names of the blue wax bill.
Cordon bleu.
Cordon bleu. Blue-breasted cordon bleu. And blue-breasted wax bill. That's from Dr. Rita. Thanks, Dr. Rita. Is that names that's been known by here in Africa, or is it elsewhere? See what my book has to say. Well, this book doesn't have. It doesn't have the other names that it's known by. That's what the other sassel's quite nice for. Ah, Lynn in Canada. I'm just reading the vulture page, just thought I might just throw up something. And just in the introduction into vultures it says both sexes incubate and feed the chicks. So it looks like the whiteback vulture is included in that. Hi Jojo! Why do Ellies swing one leg? And it's an indecision, not sure what they're wanting to do. And they'll often swing the front leg more than the back leg. I'm just going to try and move on again and just see if there's another open spot further on. But it's just indecisiveness. Kind of. Actually, through the research that they're doing, it was actually on Echo's family, this website, the Elephant Voices. I think it was actually Minerva that was reposting it on my wall actually. It reminded me about it. Ah, thanks Rosie. Rosie's saying that she's posted the interview with Patrick Benson onto the Juma webpage, and if anybody is on the Safari channel on Facebook and not knowing why they're not getting any updates from the drive or any pictures, it's because we're using the Juma private game reserve Facebook page now to post all the pictures and all the links and everything on there. So if you like that page, you'll get the updates again. But Rosie said she's posted a link of Patrick Benson and myself with the interview on Fireside Chat. He was such an interesting man, and he was actually able to chat with us for quite a little while, and he was telling us about the Asian and the African species of vulture, and we covered a few topics on why they're becoming endangered and the chicks and things like that. So if you would like to watch that, Rosie's kindly put the link up. Thanks for that, Rosie. So to try and help put the whole family unit into perspective, the way they were saying that the family units, obviously the close related females and their offspring, and that can be anywhere between 2 and 50 in that particular family unit. And the next level would be the bond, or bonds as they called it. And that's when the elephants can come together in times of plenty. And again, that's going to be fairly closely related animals, but they may start to break away in times where it's not as much food available, and actually the safety in numbers outweighs the competition for food, and vice versa. So when there's too much competition for food, they start to break away into their family units, away from these larger bond groups, and it tends to be, if they're cousins, they tend to move away. And then the clan again is much larger, and that's when you get these huge herds of elephants, and again it's going to be distantly related elephant groups and families. And what they have found is that they can actually change their families, but they're not sure when that ceases, when a family ceases to be and when they become a new family. But just goes to show that the social structure is even more complex than what we really give elephants credit for, I think. Yes, that was another one I missed. Marsh mongoose. Although I haven't seen any signs of them around here. But generally they'll be around the dam areas. So keep a look around Gary Dam. Actually, just check the distribution for it. It should be one of the mongoose that we should have the chance of seeing here. Yeah, it is part of the distribution. But I've only ever seen, I think, 3 marsh mongoose in 5.5 years. So you don't often get a chance to see them. They are nocturnal, which makes them more difficult to see, and they tend to keep themselves. So probably the waterhole camera at night is your best bet to see a marsh mongoose. Sorry, what was that last question said? Ah, that's it. Jojo, hi Jojo again. Do Ellie sleep standing up? And they can, or they can lie down. But if they lie down, especially the adults, they're more likely to prop themselves up against a termite mound or a big tree. It's just the sheer size of them. And they take naps rather than take long chunks of time to nap. So on my old reserve we had one herd of elephants, two herds of elephants, and one of them would actually take a morning siesta about 10:30, like clockwork it was. But then again, they didn't need to worry too much about lions and the threats of predators, so that could be why they had quite a regular sleeping pattern, whereas I think these guys probably wouldn't have that. Just depends on the time of year as well, I suppose. Okay, well, I think I'm going to turn around. I think we may need to start heading towards Treehouse Dam and that way. See if we can have any look that side. Good afternoon to you, Roger. Welcome on board. I'm wanting to know, why does it seem that impala are more numerous than other antelope species? It's because they are. They form these huge herds for protection, mainly because anything and everything eats impala. From the big predators right down to small predators. And even when they're babies, they're vulnerable to eagles, they're vulnerable to snakes, although even adults can fall victim to snakes, especially a female. From my old reserve, I think they were probably exaggerating on the adults, but you never know, they might have actually been telling the truth. But certainly it was the time of year where the babies weren't babies anymore, so they would have been at least 2/3 the size of an adult, if not fully grown. So it is possible, but they found a rock python halfway eating an impala, which was definitely, must have been a sight to see. And it is possible to see rock pythons, and you never know, we might be lucky enough to see one this year. I know Patrick saw one last year. I was directing that day. I saw a beautiful rock python. I think let's try Hippo Pools Road. Oh, sorry. Everyone's going to be screaming at me, I think. Every time I hit the microphone, I'll just move it that way a bit. Just spell the name for me. Howard. Howard. From Florida, was it? Hi, Howard from Florida. Good afternoon to you. But just wanting to know what season we're in. And we're in spring now, and I think the equinox is coming up soon. I think it's the 23rd. Oh, and that reminds me, if anybody is into stargazing, there is a supernova. Unfortunately, we can't see it. But if you're in the northern hemisphere, and if you look towards the Big Dipper, the Great Bear, and you look towards where the handle is, so you have that little bit of the plough, or the Big Dipper, and then you've got the handle that comes over, and it's that star right at the bottom. Huh? Yeah, it's the Big Dipper, it's the giant, it's the Great Bear, it's the plough.
Okay, sorry,
goes by all those names. But yeah, if you go to the end of the handle, and there's a star up here, there's a star at the end of the handle, and then the supernova actually makes a triangle with it. And if you look with binoculars, apparently you might be able to see it, but if you look with a telescope, you should be able to see it as well. Even a very weak telescope, they say you should be able to see it. But one of the brightest supernovas in the last 20 years, apparently. And I'm in the southern hemisphere for it. Typical. It's called M101. So if you enjoy stargazing, have a look out for that. And it's when it goes supernova, it's basically a star that's come to the end of its life and it's exploded.
So won't the moon be too bright?
He was saying that the moon, I think, just rises but the plough is just low on the horizon, so you have to really look carefully for it. But the moon should be just past it, just far enough past it.
No, but when the moon's too bright, you don't see the star.
But they did say that you should be able to see it. But it's right low on the horizon. But even if you look with binoculars, you should be able to see it. I think that's why they're saying you probably struggle with the naked eye. But it just looks like a hazy star. Huh?
I'm looking to myself.
Oh wow. Look at that. Oh, and the comet that I was going to tell you about, it's called Harad, or Gerard, depending on how you want to say it. But it sounds like it's a comet that's moving pretty fast. But it was just to the right of the right pincer of Scorpio. So just the right, just above the pincer.
copy. Left the Barton Combi there on Tamboti Dam into Luxury Racket.
Ah, we need to go towards Tamboti. Okay, well let's head along Central and we'll head up Gowrie Cut Line. Do a bit of a loop around there. See if we can find a dead tree. Hold on, Seb. I only noticed him because he moved. But look how close he is to a dead blade of grass. This is definitely going to be one of my favourite insects. That and the dung beetles, which should be coming out soon. As soon as the rains start to fall. But he is perfectly camouflaged, moving amongst all the dead grass at the moment. Look at that. And even swaying slightly in the wind. So he's swaying like a piece of grass. One of the praying mantis. If I don't know, are we close enough to see the little spikes? It actually holds onto the prey with. And they actually sit like the praying, which is where they get their name from, praying mantis. And that this little bit here folds over and it's actually got ridges just
up
on
a
this
little
side.
bit, not too much.
There.
Oh, there.
If you can see those, that's what it uses to actually grasp onto the prey. So it will lunge out, grab hold of the prey, and then start eating it with its jaws.
There.
There
But
we
it's
go.
closer.
Look at that. And these, the big ones can actually hurt quite a lot if they decide to stab you. There's some big, there's the huge green mantis, which are probably, if you take it from the abdomen, they're probably about this sort of, oh, I'm going to jump, no, decided to go. But they're probably about that long. Actually, don't go under there, actually don't get them over. But they're brilliant, and if you actually see them, if you watch the eyes really closely, you can actually see the little pupil in there. It's brilliant. I just love watching them. Definitely one of my favourites. Praying mantis. I was actually just looking for tracks down here. I want to show you some tracks while the sun is gone, but there's not really any, there's not been any nice ones to show you this afternoon. Really anything here. Rhino midden up ahead. Try and avoid most of it. Doing the rhino's job for it. It's more so I don't squash all the insects. There we go here. Oh, nice. Okay.
What do you want to do?
I want to just show them this track quickly. But if you want to just pass me the camera.
Okay, so the mic is on.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's see. Awesome. Okay, cool. Hopefully this is going to work, because I just want to show you this quickly. So, just before we start the tracking quiz. Now, if you see this here, this is very characteristic of a particular animal. And I'm just going to show you, I'm going to tell you it, because I think there's a few questions lining up. But this is the zebra. And if you think about the horse, it's the same sort of thing. It's like the horseshoe. So you see this one continuous line here. So that is the zebra. And then you can see there's been a bird walking through here. Possibly, it looks like the Cape turtle dove has been walking through here. You can see that quite nicely, these little tracks. And this other one here, I wanted to show you. I don't know if you can see it just here. Hopefully that's going to turn out nicely. And that, if I can maybe lift it up, hopefully you can see that. Now that actually comes not from an animal, but from a piece of vegetation. And if you think about the side of the road, we've got the grass here, and just by the side of the road, when the wind blows, if I can actually get hold of the piece of grass that's responsible for it. There you go, this will be what's been happening here. So as the wind's blowing, this is a piece of grass that's been blowing with it. And that one is one that our assessors use, especially when there's people that haven't done tracking before, to see who thinks outside the box. And quite often they'll leave the bit of grass there, and you'll find people that haven't done tracking before scratching their head and thinking it's an animal or a bird or something funny with a reptile, and they don't get to the grass. Some do and some don't. Quite interesting. There you go. Okay. Let's carry on. I just want to try and do central down towards Tamboti Down before we lose the light. We good? Oh, are you smelling smoke?
Yes.
Or is that just the vehicle?
Maybe it's just vehicle starting. Big ball of fire there.
Yeah, there is. I want to get a nice tree. Disappear. I think.
Central Road.
I don't think we're gonna have time. It's disappearing already. I think through there is gonna have to do. I think.
Yeah, your log number. To the X-Clary, the one you were talking about, to the, just on the south of the camp. Oh, you want to
And then the dawn, or day is over. Night begins. Let's see how we do down central. The maze, you can't even see the Drakensberg Mountains until the sun disappeared behind them. Amazing. Ooh, kamikaze Franklins. You're supposed to go to bed now. Oh, I was waiting for questions, yeah. Hi, Rafi. Oh, shalom over there in Israel. And I've forgotten the word, although the word wouldn't actually hold true now, would it?
What?
The
What I
good
did this
morning,
morning?
yeah.
That's it. Now you say Erev Tov.
Erev Tov.
Erev.
Erev Tov.
Yeah.
With my English accent. Erev Tov.
Erev. Good evening.
Rafi. I hope you're well. I'm wondering if we ever get cheetah here, and what other big cats do we have in the area, apart from lion and leopard. We do get cheetah if we're lucky. Cheetahs sometimes pass through Western Gary as they're heading towards other open areas. Occasionally stopping by and stopping over. Oops. Is that bit of road so bad?
Everything's still here, Tara.
Sorry? Everything's still there? No, it was a bit rough, that bit. Sorry. But other big cats, that's it. Lion, leopard, cheetah. We don't get jaguar here. They're only found in South America. Snow leopard, not cold enough over there in Asia. Tigers, we don't get here naturally. Hi, dear. Wanting to know if elephants get more wrinkled with age. I didn't think they did, but they do. Definitely seem very, very wrinkled. Older elephants. The more I've seen. They do seem to get a little bit more wrinkled with age. I was hoping we were going to make it to Tamborti Dam before the light fades, but I don't think we're going to be able to. We'll see. Ooh, I can feel that, that chilly snap. Sure as the sun's gone down. So it makes...
African hawk eagles are on the nest.
Ooh. Where? Oh, there's the nest. I've been looking too far, too close to the road.
We're not going to see.
No.
Back to that tree.
Huh? Yeah, I can see the nest now, but
Back to the
I can't
tree. See it from a
really...
bit further back.
Yeah, you can't really see them too well.
This the silhouette.
Yeah.
Or there.
There, that's probably the best. Can you see through there?
Stop.
There. Nice, African hawk eagles. Pardon me.
What? Okay.
Hi, Brenda. Over there in Louisiana. Wanting to know about fireside chats. I'm not too sure what you mean in what way, but we're supposed to be having a fireside chat this Sunday. So myself and Mark and Seb will be sitting around and chatting to you all. And they happen half an hour after drive, usually on a Sunday. Though we're also having one on the 22nd of September to commemorate the Rhino Day, 22nd of September. We're not doing them as often as what we were, just because we are 3 in camp, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for us to do one every week, but we're going to try and do one or 2 every month. So I'm hoping that's answering what you were wanting to know about the fireside chats. When we can, we try and bring experts in their fields, or other guides from other areas or our surrounding area to chat about the animals that we see and what they get up to when they're not on here, on our reserve, or part of reserve. And what else do we do? Oh, we chat about maybe some special sightings that we've had. Oh, hello, more Ellies.
They're down at the water.
Yeah, I can see a couple of Ellies fighting down there. Sorry, little one, I know you're trying to intimidate me. I really would like to see what they're doing down there. Oh, don't run.
everywhere.
Yeah, she's trying to get fresh water from the little hole there. These two boys are squaring off. Those two boys over there are squaring off.
This is what I've been telling people about. Our baby wants.
Baby,
I was
yeah,
talking
babies.
about this at dinner 2 nights ago to the guests. How the babies get impatient and the mom gets reprimanding.
Yeah, you might have just heard that rumble.
So I'm going to be leaving
The baby's going to try and get in there.
on the southern side of Port Trip, Marty slowly mobile and sail westerly direction at the top.
Station Slambiv and Love, just on Central by Nyala Roads north and south on the Pans. And that water that she's actually been digging for is going to come up through the sand and it's going to be filtered. So it's actually going to be nice and clean. And especially as there's less and less clean water around, you'll find them digging. We have been finding lots of signs of them digging in the drainage lines. Baby's got to be patient. Two little boys still squaring off. Oh, baby. Mama's gonna get cross. No, this is... Oh. She might even get reprimanded a little bit more severely by a smack of the trunk. But this is very important because at the dry times of the year, this baby's learning how to find fresh water. And that is one of the most important things, and one of the reasons why baby elephants take so long to grow up, because there's so much to learn. And it changes from season to season and from year to year. You might get a year where it's very wet and you've had a lot of rain like we have had this year. You might get a year that's extremely dry, and that might only come 3 or 4 years down the line. So all these life skills they're going to be learning, and it'll take them a good few years to pick it all up. What she's doing? It's almost like she's deliberately making baby wait longer now because it's been impatient.
Yeah, like she's having a nap.
Yeah. You see, her trunk's not even in the water, you can just about see the bottom of it. She's probably sniffing us at the same time as well. Hi Leslie, welcome on board. I'm wanting to know, do we ever carry a gun? We don't, Leslie. Our minds are our weapons. And we listen to what the animals are saying. And if it turns out that that one instant that we haven't read the situation right, or maybe a situation turns and it's out of our control, we have the vehicle to get us out of that situation. But the key is to not get in that situation in the first place. And unfortunately, when guides carry rifles, they carry them for protection for the guests, but sometimes it makes guides just a little bit too bold in their approach to animals to think, oh, I've got a rifle and if anything happens I can sort it out, and it's not actually the case. You know, if they get too close to the animals, too close too quickly, and the animals go, actually no, Sonny, I don't want you here, the situation can turn very bad very quickly, and they think they can jump out and grab the rifle and sort it out, and actually by the time that you've done that, the animal can be upon you. I mean, that's part of the reason. I mean, there's no reaction time there. I mean, if this lady decided to charge now, I mean, she's not showing any sign of aggression, she's not showing it that she's going to charge at all, and usually there are signs. But if she decided to charge, I mean, she's what, not even 15, yeah, about 15 metres from us. I mean, she can be on us within a matter of a couple of seconds. We just listen to what they're saying, and if they're telling us to back off, then we back off. If they're telling us, well, you're fine to be here, then we don't push it, we don't try and get in their face. Two over there, I'm going to start playing as well. Wondering if she's the matriarch, because they kind of seem like they're just waiting for her to finish. Everyone's kind of milling around and waiting. Have you finished, lady? We need 2 cameras now. No boys, no. Trying to get some practice in. That boy who's facing away from us was actually trying to climb on top of the other boy. Yeah, looks like they got the marching orders. Oh, hello. What's wrong? Got a female here who's just burst out the bush. Are you coming down to drink now? I don't think she actually realised that we were here. Well, she might have thought we were a bit further up the road, so I just rolled forward a little bit. See, look, she's going in for a drink. Now the matriarch's pulled out. She's going to go for her drink now.
was also waiting her turn.
Yeah, she was. I think that was actually because she came out the bush and then she kind of, it's almost as if, oh, you're here.
Yeah.
Just checking to see what we were going to do. Just taking that top layer off with all the mud in it. That trunk is amazing. They can hold anywhere between 4 and 10 litres. Maybe even a little bit more for some of the big male elephants. Just depends on the size of the elephant. And just sucking it up and then pouring it into the mouth. They can't actually suck it up through the trunk and drink it like that. They have to pour it into the mouth. So it's not like a straw. And that's what she's doing there. She's squirting it into her mouth. And if you see, they've got a very short neck. So to overcome the problem of actually getting to the ground to feed and to drink, they either had to grow the neck like the giraffe, or they grew the nose. And that seemed to be the better option. That seemed to be the one that came through. So if you grow your nose, you can still reach the ground, you can still pick up pieces of grass, you can still reach above you and pull down branches, and still drink the water.
Oh, but they needed a bigger mouth to eat bigger food. Have a bigger head.
Yeah. Well, that was it. So that if they did have to support that big head, the muscles in the neck would be huge. If you think about the size of the rhino head and the size of the muscles they need.
I'm as low as I can go and as open as I can go.
Okay, I'm hoping she's going to join her family soon. Oh, hello. Who's that? So she thought she might move on because they've all gone. Yep. Hi, Ed. In Las Vegas, was that? Deb. Sorry, Deb. Which Deb is it? Oh, it is Deb in Las Vegas. I did hear Las Vegas right. I think we might have to take the long way round. I was hoping that we wouldn't have to. Come on, lady, you're getting left behind. But wondering if you can tell if female elephants are pregnant. Probably right towards the end of the pregnancy, but I doubt too early on. Just like other animals, usually if you can tell that they're pregnant, they're usually close to term, usually close to giving birth. But physically, I don't think there is any way you can really tell. There might be subtle signs. Do you know of any subtle signs, or have you been able to see if an elephant's pregnant?
Only towards the end when
Yeah,
you see
just towards the
last
end.
2 months, I suppose, when it's so big.
Yeah.
The sky,
It's like the sky is on fire. You have your last drink?
It only just started.
Oh, I think we might have to choose a different path. Trouble is, oh, actually, I might be able to fit through there. Forgot about that one. I just don't want to drive past her because she's going to feel.
Well, we'll wait till she's done. We'll wait till she's done.
No, I think we'll carry on along because I'm not going to be able to put any spotlights
behind her
on her.
now.
I know I'm going to go through the drainage line. I don't want to squeeze there because she's going to feel cornered. Oh. Okay. I'm not moving anywhere then. Sorry, lady. I thought I actually might be able to just move back a bit and not disturb you. You can see that reaction there, which is what I was talking about. She was like, whoa, don't like that, hold on a minute. If I'd have moved back, I might have just either caused her to run away or to maybe charge, but I doubt it under that circumstance. But more likely run away, but then that's going to be her thinking, well, if I see this vehicle or if I hear a vehicle, then they might just frighten me again. It's always best if something like that happens, just let the animal relax again and just leave a good impression with them. Sorry, lady. I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, her baby was waiting as well. Baby's just come out. Hi, Owl. In Georgia, welcome to you. Wanting to know what owl we've just seen. And that was the African hawk eagle. There she goes. Actually, where she's walking, that's where I was going to cut through. So we found a little pathway through there. You've broken it. I don't usually have this problem.
I haven't. Make it spot. But just put it on off until it stays on. You have to have it seen to.
Huh?
You have to have it seen to.
Yeah. I get the parking lights.
Better it'll go.
I have to drive like this now. No spotlight tonight,
I'll
everybody.
do this one.
Oh well, I'm not going to be able to see. Be able to see the rhinos, sadly. But never mind, tomorrow's another day.
It'll come.
Huh?
On off it'll come.
Yeah. Hi, Ivy. Sorry, Seb, you're going to have to repeat the first part of that. I didn't hear what happened to the praying mantis. Oh, found a large headless praying mantis. Good to hear from you, Ivy. Been a little while. But Ivy's son found a large praying mantis without a head. And it was able to fly off. How is that possible? And actually some insects are able to do that because their systems are a little bit different to ours in that first of all they don't have blood like we have. They do have a system that's fairly similar, but that carries now. Mark might have to just remind me because my insect biology is very rusty. But they do have spiracles which allow air into the body and it gets taken to the areas that it needs. So they actually don't have blood, so to speak, to carry it. So that's one big difference. And they have, instead of a central brain, they have ganglionic nerve cells. So that's kind of the brain. But they do also have other areas which would act similar to a brain elsewhere in the bodies. So even though they don't have a head, which would mean death for us, they can still technically work, and that's obviously why it's able to fly off. but eventually it will die because it doesn't have any food maintaining the body. But that liquid that you saw would be its bodily fluids carrying nutrients to the various places.
Must have been mating.
I was just also going to mention that mantis quite often will use the males as food. Oh, hello, who are you? Saw eyes. Nyala, we're not going to shine on you. So the female, once the male is mating her, she'll quite often use him and start feeding, and he'll actually sacrifice himself to make sure that she doesn't mate with anybody else. So his body will stay mating with her while his head's being devoured. What a nice way to go. So that's probably why that mantis that you found was headless. It's probably a male that had been eaten by the female. Hi Brian, good to hear from you, Mr. B. Hope Heather's well, and yourself too. Good to hear from you. Wondering about. Oh, piece of dung. I thought it was a nightjar. Wondering about why the elephants are there at that little waterhole drinking and not the dams. And as the dams shrink in size, the water's going to get a little bit more muddy and probably not as palatable actually. It's been sitting there for a little while, and they're quite picky about nice clean water. So that drinking hole actually provides that nice filtered water, and I bet it tastes a lot better. And it could be that there's minerals that it's brought up from being so close to the bedrock as well. Quite possible. And maybe that's what makes it taste good. Ashley, good evening to you too. Wondering if the animals have ever attacked us, and what would we do if they did? Well, that really does depend on the situation, Ashley, and no two situations are the same. And it's certainly being aware of your surroundings and being aware of the animals and what's around and what the problems are likely to be. And one thing is, and that's why I didn't want to drive past the elephant, was because she would have felt cornered, because there was a couple of trees on her right hand side, and if I was to drive right next to her, she would have felt trapped, and that would have resulted in a big problem. And that's one of the reasons, one of the dangers when it comes to viewing animals. You've got to give them enough space so that they don't feel that they're trapped and they don't feel threatened in any way. And even just by turning the vehicle on, I was hoping to move back and pull down through the riverbed quite a distance from her, but just switching on the vehicle, she didn't like it. So as I say, it's better just to leave them with a good impression than to leave with a bad one if you can. Pops today. If an animal actually charged, to say, it depends on how serious they're being about it. And if an animal is in warning mode, they tend to act quite aggressively, and they tend to show the teeth, or in the case of an elephant, show their ears, make themselves look big and intimidating. And depending again on the situation and depending on the animal, you either stand your ground but don't do anything, or you start to move away. And I say it depends on the situation, because sometimes animals can take that as, okay, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. So it just depends. But if they're charging at you, again, depending on the animal, depending on the situation, either standing your ground or moving away. It's very difficult to say exactly what you're going to do in a situation, and each situation is different. I had an elephant, and she really wasn't in full charge mode, but she wasn't in full warning mode. She was somewhere in between. She had elements of both, and I think the fact that she had to come around a couple of trees to get to me, she didn't have a straight line of sight. It slowed her down a bit, and I just thought, if I shout, something said to me, just talk to her. And if I'd have shouted, which sometimes you do, I think the situation might have been different. It may have been the same, but I just said, "Hey lady, what's this?" And it was almost as if that kind of broke whatever it was that she had a thought, or I don't know what she was thinking, but I know they were not happy. There'd been something going on, because they were all a little bit uneasy. That's why I actually stopped about 70-80 meters away from the herd. But she wasn't happy, and unfortunately she decided, nah, I'm going to come for you. But she stopped about a meter and a half away from the vehicle, and she actually backed off then. I didn't move, I just spoke. She started walking away, and they actually relaxed a little bit more after that. And the next day we saw exactly the same herd, and they were all fine with us. Amazing. Hi Sue, And I'm sure a few other people wanting to know, when we're taking our leave. She thought it was 1 week on, or no, 2 weeks on, 1 week off. No, we're doing 6 weeks too, and then having 2 weeks off as normal. But we all take our 2 weeks off together. So no drives for 2 weeks. And that's going to be, our last drive is the 28th. So our first day of leave is the 29th of September. But we will let everybody know, we'll post up on Facebook. And I think on the schedule, we need to sort the schedule out on the website as well. Oh, I see a bush baby. Don't run away, bush baby. I can't switch my lights off, because otherwise I can't see. Ooh, there's a couple there. Oh, there. Can you see him just on the end of the branch? Just there. There he goes across the road. I want to. But this one here that we haven't seen yet, I want to have a look at. Yeah, because it looked like a young male, but maybe it just be the way the light was shining. Is everybody with us yet, Sept?
Already cut away.
Yeah, it was a big lag.
Huh?
There was a big lag.
Who's the road, is it?
Actually, if I roll forward, maybe. Ah, okay, everyone's with us. So there was a bit of a lag. I was just showing everyone a picture of the golden cat, but I'll try and do that on next drive again, because we have some tawny coloured cats instead.
Why is it all got a spot on this side?
Okay. Well. Okay, I'm going to move around the other side, so at least we have a nice look. Got a little notch in the air. But we have 5 lions here by Voyatella Lodge, just as we were closing down. So I thought I'd come and say hello. We're not sure who it is at the moment. There's 5 females by the looks of it. There's one I just want to go and check that it is a female and not a young male. But my feeling is it's the Salalas, who are usually 5 females. But we haven't seen BB yet. Well, we might have. This could be BB.
Tell his guest to put the light off. Whatever it is.
Hmm? Okay, let's move around the other side to where the other 4 are. Oh. Okay, let's not then.
Why did he approach from the opposite side? I never understood this guy. Anyway, should we go to the others?
But welcome to anybody who's joining us for the first time, and it is fantastic to see lions. And we have been seeing them a little bit more recently than maybe even last year, but what is wonderful is that we have Salalas, which I've never met before until a few months ago. They were always somewhere in the west. or somewhere in the south, but I've never met them before. But with all the upheaval that's been happening with the lions, we now have the Salalas coming in here. The sticks have gone south and we haven't seen them for quite a while, and yet this time last year they were the most dominant pride in this area. And then the Unkahumas towards, I think, the later part of the year, and now the Salalas. So this is kind of an overlap area of the three prides. Salalas making 5 females, sticks of 4, and they've got cubs. Even the grandma's got cubs apparently. And the Unkahumas, I think, are numbering 4 females plus 6 cubs plus a young male cub. And if all of them survive, they're going to be a nice big pride. But now the Matimbas have come along and chased out the Majingi lions, who have been actually killing lionesses as well as lions in the area. They killed one of the original coalition here, one of the Mapocos. So the Majingi lions went south and they've been seen pushing their way up again, but their main pride was the Styx pride, and they're thought to have killed 2 females from that pride, so it's amazing the Styx have actually accepted them. But they were last seen on Arathusa, southwest of where we are, on a buffalo kill. And it's, I think the guides are actually saying that the 2 male Majingi lions actually helped to pull the buffalo down. And I don't know if they were assisting the Salalas, or whether the Salalas just happened to be there. But nevertheless, they were all around the buffalo kill, and the Styx male, the young Styx male, who's probably over 3.5 years old now. So lots of dynamics with the lions, but that's a quick overall. As I say, I'm not 100% sure at the moment that the number of lions that we're seeing is right for the Salalas. Yeah, looks like it. There we go. Oh, she's got a tail, so she's not BB. I'm gonna go around and join them.
You really want to with that noise.
I'm just going to go around the other side of this tree so we can see them. There's BB. It is the Salalas. There she is. Beautiful lady. It's funny, we haven't heard any alarm calls or anything like that in this area. And they're literally just by the lodge. So they're going to be listening to everybody have dinner.
Beeping.
Hmm? Oh, we're
Beeping.
beeping. Oh. So hopefully something to follow up on in the morning for Seb. But wonderful to see them. I wonder how long they've been here today. I wonder. Although you did say they had tracks, so maybe they made their way over sometime today. Definitely keep a watch on them. I'm sure the Zoomy, who's on the waterhole camera, will keep a watch on them this afternoon, this evening. and they might even try their luck for some impala or maybe something bigger. Although if they've been eating off the buffalo carcass, they might not need to hunt for a couple of days. They might just have got out the way of the Majingilans. And maybe that's why they made their way over here. But unfortunately we are going to have to say goodbye now. It's been great having you on board this afternoon, and thanks for all your questions. And I'm sorry if people were getting a little bit despondent about the rhinos. Unfortunately I was as well, but it is an issue that we do need to raise awareness. And hopefully we can do something positive about it. I can see the guests sitting down to drink at the lodge, enjoying the sight of the lions. But thanks everybody, and we'll see you again here on Wild Earth. Thanks Mark for your camera work. Sept back in final control. My name's Tara, this is the Tsalala Pride, and you've been watching the drives from here in Djuma Game Reserve live in South Africa. Take care everybody, we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Only South Africans can do that.
Good evening, everyone. Sebastian here, sitting in final control. Wow, what a way to end up the drive, eh? That's great. Hope you enjoyed the drive. There was a bit of a lag, and I'm sorry if I did cut Tara when she was busy driving after the bush babies, but I just thought there was a good 10-15 minutes lag, and I thought it would be worse to just cut straight onto the lions, so that you could actually see a bit of the lions. So I will definitely scratch around Gary Dam tomorrow morning. Hopefully they will stay around, and hopefully we can get them on camera again tomorrow morning. I'll be presenting, and Tara will be on camera with Mark in final control, and that would be at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning Central African time. So please join us, and for all of you out there, I wish you a good evening or a great day depending on where you are in the world, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye for now.